Alright guys, what is up? I am Howie and this is the Go Ride channel. I am in the midst of the coronavirus 2019-2020 shelter-in-place order, so I have nothing better to do. Nothing else that I really can do except work on the DX. So the goal for today is to get the bike basically rolling. So I would like to have the rear tire on, which in order to put the swing arm pivot through, that involves remounting the motor. So that's the goal for today. I cheated ahead a little bit, cut to that footage, and had to go into work, which was pretty deserted, and just press the bearings into the swing arm. So I don't know what you could see in there, but I went ahead and pressed new bearings into the swing arm. Getting them out would have been really good for me to film because it was a nightmare. It was a heat and beat session. Worst thing ever. I tried to use an arbor press. I have a 1-ton arbor press. Not enough cojones. You want a hydraulic press? I should have just bought one at Harbor Freight, but where the hell am I going to put it? I got crap coming out my ears, so I didn't worry about that too much. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this all put together. I'm going to grease these things up real well, put the sleeves in, put the dust caps on, and then start bolting up. When I pressed these bearings in, I went ahead and actually coated the outside with anti-seize lubricant. I don't know if that's right, wrong, or indifferent, but you've got a steel bearing race, for lack of a better descriptor, and the aluminum swing arm. And anytime you have dissimilar metals in contact like that, there's the potential for kind of a cathodic reaction that would cause them to basically rust together. The aluminum would rust. It doesn't rust, but it oxidizes, causing some issues there. And so the nickel in the anti-seize lubricant, because it's like a suspension, should act kind of as a sacrificial anode of sorts, and kind of help minimize the amount of corrosion that occurs. So if I'm right, then you'll see this. If I'm wrong, then you probably won't see this clip. But I went ahead and installed these things where the little flanges are inside, and then the offset with this hard face is outside, and it looks like it bears on the inner sleeve in there. So hopefully that's the right way. So now it's going to be time to start putting this back on the bike. Got this linkage piece here. Everything goes to 60 pound-feet. Shock bolts are each 29 pound-feet. Just for reference, I couldn't get a torque wrench on that one, but on your average combination wrench, your average dude, and this is a lot of average, so take it with a grain of salt. If you're Mongo, you might be doing a little more than this, if not, but your average dude, firm tug on something like this size is about 30 pound-feet, roughly. I'm going to go ahead and mount up the motor, rear tire, side stand, and then that'll be the goal for today, and then I'll probably jump on some other stuff off camera. everything that holds the motor in gets torqued to 22 pound-feet. So that's the motor. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw the rear wheel on. And again, that's really just to make this thing easier to move around the shop or garage, whatever you want to call it. It's probably going to come off at some point. I'm going to put the side stand on, which again is really just to make everything easier to move around. And that was really where I wanted to be today. Alright guys, I cannot for the life of me find my side stand spring. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to get this thing out of the way, look a little more, do some cleanup. And now, hopefully, after all this stuff blows over with the COVID-19 disease, the coronavirus, which causes it, that we can get out and go ride. Yeah. On a side note, the coronavirus thing has got me a little bit, not because I'm afraid that I'm going to get sick and die or that my daughter's going to get sick or die or anything like that. I'm most concerned about my son. I've got a son due in 5 weeks, and in New York, there are some hospitals that are not allowing the father to come to the hospital and be in the delivery room. And that's got me nervous because that's something I'd like to be a part of. So, number one thing, if you do nothing else to prevent the spread of coronavirus, just don't touch your face. If you do two things, don't touch your face and wash your hands. And if you do three things, please follow the social distancing orders and don't touch your face and wash your hands. With that, guys, get out there, go ride, stay 6 feet apart, you know, all the stuff you should do anyway. Take care, be safe, stay healthy, go ride.